I mean, everything looks way cooler in slow motion.
Or from a 360 GoPro.
Or wow, okay.
Too soon.
Oh,
Roll,
man.
roll camera. Roll clip.
I really like the 7200 look.
Dude, we were here late last night. Kyle brought the AC unit to swap out the server room, and I was like, "Oh, I think Sam finished that piece." Kyle was like, "Pull it up." And we're watching it, and I was like, "There's like no 360 in here." I was like, "Oh, let me go look at the 360 footage," and it's just like super crispy smooth. I'm like, "Why didn't he use this?" I was like, "I bet Sam didn't use it because he hates using the GoPro software."
I do hate using the GoPro software, but that's not why I didn't use it.
It just works. Don't you think that would be
It is
easier?
such a simple program.
Global lock, bro. Just kick it. Export. You know we're right.
Yeah, if I had the 360 on that guy's bike the whole time.
No, Sam just wanted to pull it into After Effects and Audition and use every Adobe program he could just to make it real tweaker.
Mm-hmm.
When you have this nice GoPro software that is
actually okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll just give you some insight. There is definitely a part of me that was more like Sam in that way until I started working across from him more.
Really?
Like there's just like these things that like as filmmakers sometimes we think like, oh, this is how it's gonna work, and he's more like he doesn't have as much like of that backstory, so he doesn't think like that. You ever think about that? Like sometimes we know so much that we like, oh, if we did this, this, and this, where it's like he's like, why don't you just do it this way? And if you actually like think about it, sometimes it's like,
That's true.
you know what I mean? Though, like I
Yeah.
feel like that actually is like interesting to have when you have people that are like on your team that are just different.
It's like, I'm not going to use the internet. I'm going to go to the library.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
You're gonna pick up a
100%.
book, but like it's just there's something to it. Like sometimes,
But
it's
you
like,
shifted too. Now you have apps that you like that are outside of the Adobe sphere we use, and you like using them.
well, it's just, I like technology that gets you to certain outcomes quicker in a way that like, because I mean the future is here. Like everything used to take so much longer to do, and we're in this crazy age where if you really like, if you want to just like roll your sleeves up and just make some really crazy stuff, you can do it pretty quick, and a lot of effects and like AI now generation, and there's just so many things you can do.
Kia called and he was like, "I need an ad right now." We're driving to Kenai to go fishing, and I'm like, "Okay." I called you.
Yeah, you called
and
me.
Sam's like,
And
really?
Kyle's like, "I'll just do it on my phone. Take 2 minutes." And like, sure as shit, he made like a disgusting ad for Kia on his phone in an app in 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was the, but yeah, it's just that's where everything's kind of like. I mean, Canva like revolutionized that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Canva and those type of programs like changed how it's even done. So sometimes I don't know. I've heard statements too in recent years where it's like nothing's ever going to be perfect. So if you can get something that you can be proud of and like release it, like
I think you have to go against what you think is like. We're obviously amazing at our cinematography. Our gear is the best. We use, professional tools. I think you need to be able to say, "Oh, I'm just going to use a app for this," or "I'm going to use this LUT in this other program that's not super professional, but it's achieving what you want." Do it. Saves you time, saves you money.
Yeah.
well, it's being nimble and gritty. I've actually worked with cinematographers in the past that have like been very much like, oh, I can't shoot that frame rate because I can't get 4K. I can only get 1080. And I'm like, yeah, but it's slow.
Mm-hmm.
So like
That's what we need.
that's okay.
1080 is clean.
And it's like
Who's that company like that they came out with that LUT program, but the LUT program is based off of those things they were doing in front of the lens?
Is it the 604 or 804 or something?
oh yeah, we did a couple that's Tropicolor. The
Tropicolor,
guys that created
yes.
those really prisms. Well,
They're
it's
like
even
back in the day, we were just like buying random things and putting it in front of our
pieces
lens.
of broken
and
glass,
pieces
and
of
like
broken
bottles
glass.
and like
Did you just call prisms LUTs that you put in front of the lens?
Well, they made
LUTs
a
too.
LUT
okay.
pack to mimic those actual things that they're putting in front of the
well,
lens.
they would do them like on like alpha channel layers. They would give you like there's just all kinds of stuff that can be done.
Which I think is an example of that company, Tropicolor, trying some stuff that may not be like, super professional in a program, but they just liked how it looked and it saved them time in post at the time. And it worked.
What's even interesting because a lot of that becomes super popular. Like they're shooting with Drake and like these big names. I mean, I don't know if Drake, but big name people are looking for these.
They're shooting with Drake. I mean,
Maybe not.
I don't know if
but-
it's Drake, but
Yeah, seriously. I'm like Drake's like the biggest.
No, it was Blake actually.
yeah.
I know it's
Yeah.
even I say interesting so much. The idea that no matter how much studio experience you have and things like that, sometimes if you're just talented in a very specific way or you create something that's different, it attracts people. I feel like there's a lot of that. You guys ever think that?
Mhm.
Look at the Instagram of some of these like people that are around and working with some of these big name artists.
I remember when 360 cameras were really starting to get user friendly. There was this guy that would only shoot on 360s, and he got hired by Mercedes, Porsche.
Are you talking about Devin?
No, he
That
was
guy?
like some dude that came out of nowhere, made a couple big time commercials, and kind of disappeared. I can't
Okay.
remember
But he was utilizing only 360. He was like the best at it.
Mhm.
Was he just a tweaker?
because he
about
was
it?
like the first one to do a lot of the techniques that a lot of people use now, and everyone.
Oh.
It's kind of like when FPV drones first started getting huge. There was like 3 or 4 people that did everything.
like the bowling alley guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like Johnny FPV that came out with those like nutty FPV videos.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is right. It's interesting. Yeah, it's cool to see how the trends start and like taper. I remember. I don't know if you guys do this, but maybe it's something to kind of elaborate. Is cinematography and technique is things get popular and come and go. Like I remember tilt shift was everything. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh yeah.
Tilt shift
oh,
was
yeah.
big. and then-
GCI was heavy tilt shift.
And that was-
on
that was-
everything
that was
they
a-
shot.
That was MTA
That
or
was
ACS.
ACS.
Yeah,
That was ACS. That was big on it. Yeah, ACS was big on the tilt shift. And then like, I saw that technique. I was like, this is so cool. And then people were coming out with tilt shift videos. And it was just like what I was consuming on Vimeo. I used to find when I was a young filmmaker, I would just go look at Vimeo and I'd be like, this is what I like. This is what's trending. This is what I'm seeing.
I think
People are so creative.
Well, I think a lot of the time too, it's who's first to market, who jumps all in on a trend early.
Yeah.
Like that filmmaker guy. He took that business model early, COVID. Let me teach you how to be a freelance, cinematographer. I'm going to give you the tools. I'm going to tell you how to up your prices. I'm going to tell you how to negotiate your contracts. And he just went full fledged into the teaching side. And now he's got like the market cornered.
Yeah.
And you see all these click funnels of people trying to do the same thing. It's like, it's not the same.
the beauty of what we do, I feel, is storytelling is universal and always going to be here. So no matter how crazy the video equipment gets or the film equipment gets and how many things you can do, storytelling and the ability to be a good storyteller at base,
That holds everything together.
everything.
Number one.
Changes it. I mean, we've all seen great stories done in a really shitty way, and it's still great.
Subpar.
Subpar.
Yeah.
Extremely mediocre.
Yeah. So
Kyle talks about it all the time. I'm like, this is terrible. He's like, it gets the point across. It works.
Fun.
Don't overanalyze it. Don't over criticize it.